So, I'm gonna let you in on a little bit of a secret here. This video is not really gonna go over anything new, but rather, it's going to congratulate one team, while also giving some verified details to a few others as to how this team's results are kind of impacting the outcome of the draft. So, today we're talking about one of the only teams in the NHL that, at this very moment in time, has finished their 2022-2023 regular season. It is none other than the New York Islanders. Now, don't worry, we're going to have ourselves a conversation about the other team that has finished off their season too, Calgary, in a little bit. I think it's more than appropriate to make maybe one more video talking about them and their situation. I know it's been 2 days in a row of Calgary videos already, but, you know, there's room for more, I guess. But either way, this video is going to go over that Islanders team that had wrapped up their season, as well as just some updates regarding the Vancouver Canucks and the Detroit Red Wings, because when it comes to the big trade that kind of links all of these three teams together, we had ourselves the final details as to how everything is going to go down, pretty much based off of the Islanders and their results. You see, the Islanders played their last game yesterday, and they ended up winning 4-2 against the Canadiens. They finish off the regular season with a record of 42-31-9, good enough for 93 points in the East. This has already locked them in for the final wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. There's no way that Washington or Pittsburgh or Buffalo could catch up at this point. And so, when you take a look at how the Islanders' season is trending, well, they have themselves what is going to be the 17th overall pick due for them in the 2023 NHL Draft. Now, it doesn't take a genius to acknowledge why this is important and why it's actually worth bringing up, because the Islanders' first-round pick does not actually belong to them at the moment. It belongs to the Detroit Red Wings, who had acquired this pick in a trade with the Vancouver Canucks, who in turn acquired the pick from the Islanders in the Bo Horvat deal. We've talked a whole bunch about this, but Horvat was sent over to New York, the first was sent over to Vancouver, and Vancouver sent that first to Detroit in the Filip Hronek trade. There were a few other pieces added on there, but ultimately this is what happened. And with the confirmation now that the Islanders made the playoffs, they are not going to miss out, and they're not going to have themselves a chance at winning any sort of a lottery. This gives more confirmation as to how everything went down with the Filip Hronek trade and the Red Wings themselves. The Islanders have guaranteed at least the 17th overall pick, which could jump up to 29, 30, 31, or 32, depending on how they finish in the playoffs. Actually, no, I don't think it has the potential to be 30. I think it can only be 29, 31, or 32. Yeah, that's how it goes. So, the Islanders, if they lose in the first or the second rounds, they'll have the 17th overall pick, which will be sent over to Detroit. If the Islanders make the third round and they lose, they'll have themselves the 29th overall pick, which, of course, will be Detroit's. And then if they make the finals, they're either going to get 31 or 32, depending on if they win or lose in the finals. The Red Wings have themselves this pick, and it kind of, I don't know, dare I say, makes the Hronek trade feel a lot better from the perspective of a Canucks fan. Like, we had already made a video the other day talking about the Filip Hronek trade and asking if it was a win based off of the circumstances of the Islanders having that first be somewhere outside the top 16. But now that it's officially confirmed, I feel like it opens the door for some more philosophical arguments for Vancouver Canucks fans debating whether or not this was a proper move. You see, with this pick being solidified at the very least 17th overall, it allows you to ponder, okay, let's say the Canucks did not pull off that Filip Hronek trade. For reference, we're not going to talk about any of the other stuff. We're just going to talk about Hronek and the first. I know there were some extra picks in there, but just to make things simple, let's just talk about it as if it were the first for Hronek. If you were in a position to draft 17th overall, and you decided to take a guy, like, let's say the Canucks took a guy like they took last year. They took 15th overall Jonathan Lekkerimäki. He's a player that the Canucks are probably going to have to wait 3 or 4 years before he actually becomes an impact player with the Vancouver Canucks in a mainstay role. Nothing against Lekkerimäki, but the guy got demoted this season. He's playing in the Allsvenskan, and to his credit, he's actually doing pretty well, but when it comes to being an NHL caliber contributor, not just an NHL passenger, it takes a while for guys to really become what they can be, especially when you're taking guys that are not top of the line, 5th overall Elias Pettersson or 7th overall Quinn Hughes type players. Brock Besser being as good as he was, taken 23rd overall, something like that. Kind of the anomaly there. You have a lot of guys like Nils Höglander and Vasily Podkolzin who are not primary contributors with the Vancouver Canucks at the NHL level. So when you think about what a guy in the 17th overall spot in 2023 could do for you in the short term, long story short, it isn't much. And I realize this is sort of going into that argument of the Vancouver Canucks reluctantly just forcing themselves to focus on the short term rather than the long term, which is the philosophy that's bitten them in the back in the past many times before. But I don't know, like Elias Pettersson just got 100 points. Quinn Hughes is one of the top players for all defensemen in scoring this season. These guys are talented, and these guys are good. And so would it really be the right move to say, all right, sorry, Petey, sorry, Hughes, but we're going to start committing ourselves to finishing in the bottom of the standings for the next 2-3 seasons because we got to wait till these contracts expire. We got to find a way to get rid of OEL. We got to find a way to open up some money, and then we can be competitive. Like, I know there's a lot of GMing, or armchair GMing, I guess you could say, that goes on in this parts, especially on Vancouver radio, Vancouver social media. It happens a lot with fans in this team and analysts of this team on social media everywhere, but do the Vancouver Canucks not have some sort of a commitment to guys like Pettersson and guys like Hughes to make sure that their primes signed onto this team are not going to be wasted, rather than drafting a guy at the 17th overall spot and waiting 4 years for him to become something at the NHL level, which isn't guaranteed because 17th overall is not a slam dunk pick. It should be if you're doing your job properly, but it never is. Would you rather have that or a guy like Filip Hronek, whom we all kind of know is already good and who is already a very impactful player for the Canucks at the NHL level today? He is the best right-handed defenseman this team has had in years, and that's a bad thing. Not because Hronek is not talented, but because it kind of speaks to the magnitude of talent this team has had in the past. Meanwhile, for Detroit, y'all are getting that rebuilding stage going on here. It's been going well for you guys, and the Red Wings have done a very good job at focusing on the now as well as building that future. The amount of prospects Yzerman was able to accrue is insane, especially when you consider the talent level that a lot of these guys are at. Vancouver is in a different spot compared to Detroit, and you could say that the Canucks had the opportunity to commit in the same way the Red Wings did to the future and the prospects and the youth, but long story short, the Vancouver Canucks just didn't decide to do that. And whether or not you're going to go out there and start harping on them or hating on them or feeling upset about them when you go about your daily lives thinking, oh, the Vancouver Canucks didn't do this and now I'm upset about it. Like, I don't know, is it really all that beneficial to think about things this way? I feel like sort of, in my perspective as being a content creator here on YouTube, I sort of just kind of go with the flow and just react to things in a hopefully positive type of way because I really just want to cheer for the team that I cheer for, and when you think about it too much, it ends up eating you alive, I feel. And so for things like this, even though there was an update as to how everything went for the Islanders, which, by the way, good on you guys for forcing yourselves into the postseason after everybody doubted you. Like, good for the Islanders and their fan base to be able to do this. As Bo Horvat said, it's a lot better than Vancouver, he'll tell you that for free. But either way, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Red Wings pick being confirmed. 17th overall, 29th overall if the team loses in the conference finals, 31st overall if they lose in the finals, and 32nd overall if they win the cup. Thoughts in the comment section below about the Red Wings getting this spot confirmed. Thoughts as well about the Canucks and how they traded away the pick to get Hronek. Do you feel like because this pick is now 17th overall and it's not somewhere in the top 12 and it doesn't slide over to 2024 unprotected, that you feel differently about this trade? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Juraj 9, and bye.